Doo Wop joining us now on our show. Doo Wop, what up?
Yo, what up? Y'all hear me?
I hear you fine. How are you?
Good, good, good. I got the little ear thing, and I want make sure it's all good.
Hey, listen, if there's anything that we have learned in the age of Rona, it's that there are many technical things that can go wrong when trying to broadcast. How are you doing, sir?
I'm good, brother.
Yeah.
Appreciate you guys, man.
We appreciate you coming on. I'm assuming that you are in New York. It would feel weird if you were elsewhere or near New York.
I live in Maryland now.
Maryland. Okay. See, this is me. I'm not totally up on my DJ Doo Wop current trivia.
No doubt.
How has your, we'll call it an extended vacation. How's your extended vacation been this year?
It's all good, man. You know what I mean? The ripping and the running to New York, I did enough of that, so I'm good with this now.
Absolutely. Well, we're really happy to welcome you to the show. This is episode 68. We've had amazing DJs,
Wow.
rappers, artists, comedians, actors, producers, and the one thing that unites all of us here on the show is that we love to nerd out on hip-hop. We love to share stories about our experience. I'm sure you have some great stories. And as a fan and as, somebody who is a legend in the game. So, shout out to you for being on here. And if you're ready to get into this, we can start this hip-hop trivia thing. You ready?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. Before
Try
we
to take
start,
it easy on me, man.
Yeah, hey, we're not out here to make anybody look too bad. So, we're not going to hit you with some super scientifical, underground shit that only, me and two other people have heard of. But I will say to you that we have two schools of thought on the show. Some people, they don't want to use the chat at all. They want to test their own knowledge. Other people, when they feel stuck, they look down at the chat, and sometimes the chat helps them out. So we don't judge either way, but just know that it's an option for you, Doo Wop.
Okay.
Just know that it's there. All right, so we're going to move into our first round, and our first round is called The Choice is Yours. This is general multiple choice, and we're going to get into it. First question. Let's go. This one's a little bit more recent. This personal item worn and signed by the Notorious B.I.G. recently sold for over $500,000 at the first hip-hop memorabilia auction. Was it a belt, a plastic crown, a watch, or a hat?
B.
He's saying B. Let's see if he's correct, folks. He is absolutely correct. The plastic crown that, is iconic now that Biggie wore in that iconic photo.
If I wouldn't have saw a certain post yesterday, I would have never knew. It was someone, my boy M80 from LA. Yeah. He was trying to bid on that. He was like, "Should I bid on it?" And he put a picture of it. And this was just yesterday or the day. When was it? Like this whole thing was like yesterday or the day before.
It was definitely this week. It might have been yesterday, but
he was like, "Should I bid on it?" And it was a picture of it. And that's the only way. If not, I would have been stuck.
Well, yeah. Oh, see, somebody was saying they got it mixed up because there's another story about Biggie's belt that he left in the office of the Source. There's this whole legend about Biggie's belt. But if you guys don't know about this, there's been this hip hop memorabilia auction that's going on. This is a plastic crown, $6, like new, that has now sold for over $500,000. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Nuts.
Do you have anything in your collection that you feel like might be able to get? I mean, maybe not $500,000, but any cool hip hop memorabilia that you might have?
I don't know. I had some stuff back at my mom's crib that I was gonna give the hip hop museum out here in DC. Yeah. I think it was like probably flyers and shit. The first written out Bounce Squad audition. I had auditions to be in the Bounce Squad in like 1992, like to recruit some MCs when I first started making tapes, and it was like a written out, and I actually found it. But that's nothing like this type.
It's not a Biggie crown. So wait, what were the? I'm curious. If you can remember back, what were the parameters of auditioning to be in the Bounce Squad? Like, what were how were you judging this?
I was just just looking for some MCs. A few, just trying to mesh some people together that could blend in well, and just had to be nice, man. That's basically it.
Yeah. You were obviously such a prevalent part in such a 90s hip hop, like you in New York. You're synonymous. You're entangled in all of that. Like, do you have any interesting Biggie memories or anecdotes, either through your own encounters or obviously I know you do, but like what do you think when you this rapper now who a plastic crown that he wore on his head probably once sold for $500,000. You know, what are your memories? Did you ever even anticipate that being the case?
My memories of Biggie, I had two little short stories that, and both of them I dropped the ball. Well, one of them I dropped the ball. The second one was, anyway, the first one was we were in Virginia. I was hired to do a party for this guy. Why is this dimming out on me? Oh, okay. So I was doing a party for this dude, and he brought Biggie down to host the party.
Yeah.
So Biggie, you know, ready to die. Biggie. Actually, he had the cane already.
Okay.
Did he? No. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. This was probably like right after Ready to Die came out, and I talked to the promoter beforehand and told him to ask Biggie if it's cool if I bring my 4-track and a mic and had a beat already programmed in the 4-track so he could do a freestyle for my tape. And Biggie said, absolutely, no problem. So I was bugging. I mean, I know I met him before and he was cool, but I didn't know that he would agree to that, you know?
That's a great look. That's an incredible look at that time,
he said he'll do it right at the hotel. So at the party, the first time we saw each other was at the party. He came to the booth when he was leaving the party. I'm still DJing for like maybe another hour. He whispered in he said, hey, my room is such and such. Come there after the joint so we could knock that out. I was like, all right, cool. And then, you know, these started kicking in. I get to the room. I call him. He says, give me an hour. I guess he was messing around with some chicks.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, I wake up, it's like 10 in the morning. I fell out.
Oh.
So drop, and then he was already gone.
No.
He was already gone. The second time, he was on his way to do my tape when they had that party where he broke his leg. He was on his way to do my tape.
Oh, wow.
They were coming across the bridge to come to the studio that I used to book time at, which is around the corner from D&D Studio, called Noise in the Attic on 39th Street and 8th Avenue. I used to do all my tapes. That's where everybody came to rhyme on my tapes. And Biggie was actually on his way there with C's when they had that accident. And I didn't believe C's when he told me, because I'm like waiting. And C's was like, yo, we had an accident. I was like, all right, C's, you know. But then I see it in the paper the next day. But, you know, that part never came out. Like, you know, it was not a big deal, I guess, you know, where we were going. But they were coming across the bridge to come to the studio to do my tape.
That's crazy. Well, close. I mean, lucky enough to at least have had these encounters. We almost have these connections. Yeah. That's crazy. All right, we're going to move on to the next question. And the next question is, this DJ was featured on Yo MTV Raps doing a live blend of Stephanie Mills' Something in the Way You Make Me Feel. Who was it? Was it Ron G, Clark Kent, Kid Capri, or Funkmaster Flex?
See? Good one. Because everybody would say Kid Capri, but it was Ron G.
He says Ron G. Ooh, Steve Wonder, I think we're going to have to fact check this, because the answer that we okay, so the answer
it was
that
Ron
we
G
have,
with Fat Five Freddy. Oh my God! No, you got to watch that clip again.
Watch the clip again. Okay, this is a Steve Wonder one right here. So like, I'm putting Steve's reputation on the line. Break it down for us. Like, tell us.
He might be right though. Hold on. He might be right. They were there at the same time.
Steve, we're gonna need you in this chat, man. Like I know he's in here right now. See, we had checked and we thought it was Kid Capri. I don't have the clip to play right here.
Kid Capri did that original blend. No, but I'm not 100% that on MTV Raps it was Ron G. I thought it was. I know they were on the same show because they were at Rock and Will Record Store on 124th and 7th Ave with Fat Five Freddy, and they was showing the art of the blend. And I remember Kid Capri was standing behind. But, you know, come to think of it, I don't think Ron G would do that blend in front of Capri, because Capri was known for that blend. He was the first one that ever did that on a mixtape, which was Stephanie Mills with Impeach the President. I doubt Ron G might have did a different blending. So, boom.
All right. Steve Wonder has chimed in. We have other people who said they've checked it on YouTube, and they've confirmed it as Kid Capri. So I'm sorry, Doo Wop. We got it.
I thought y'all was trying to throw me a little curve there.
But you so confidently did it that you had me shook that I thought that we'd gotten it wrong. Because I don't want to tell DJ Doo Wop that he's incorrect about live blends. That
might happen. That might happen a few times, brother.
Okay, shit. Well, tell me from your experience, what was sort of the thing that gave you what gave you the bug and kind of like everything that you built your career on?
That shit right there, when Kid Capri was doing it, when you know, I mean, me and Ron G came up at the same time, so I guess I can't say he you know, I mean, he kept the juices flowing, but I was already, me and him were already neck and neck coming up together. But like, you know, hearing the old Kid Capri tapes. First time I made a tape was like '89. Capri was already out. Star Child, Brucey B. Hearing, you know, all these blends with the DJ voices coming out of the cars. Every car drove by, you know, in front of the popping, you know, clubs or wherever you're at, you know, in front of the movie theater, and just knowing that you didn't have to have an MC to get your brand out there, to get your name out. You could do it yourself right from your crib. You
Right.
create something in the crib, you record it over and over again until you get it right, and then let it out. Not saying that once you let it out, everybody's going to hear it, but at that time, there were only a handful that were doing it. So, you know, and I had a few breaks, you know, which we could talk about, I guess, later. You know, a couple things that happened that pushed me a little, you know, faster into, you know, a little faster than it would have took to get to the spotlight or whatever you want to call it, you know.
Well, what would you say was like one of the, or the first one that you would count as one of those like real breaks that kind of gave you the fast pass, as it were?
The beef with Capri in '91, the beef that I had, that was like the first mixtape beef ever. It was, you know, we went at it, we rhymed against each other. We, you know, did a whole tape. He did his last tape that he made before he went on to do like mega superstar shit was, back then we named our tapes the date that we made them, right? So that tape, his tape was 12/3/91. Obviously, December 3rd, 1991 was the last tape, and he, you know, he started the tape off was like, some nigga named Doo Wop, boy, your career's ended before it even started. And then he went into a whole rhyme, 2 verses about me with a hook and everything. Yeah. That's because I did something about him, in, you know, like a month before. But then that was something that just took me from here to here so fast, because he was already he was Jordan already. He was at the top.
He was established.
He didn't have to say anything to me. So he even says it now in interviews. He's like, you know, Wop would have got to where he's at or where he went to eventually, but it happened a little faster. And I don't take that in. It's the truth. It is. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I didn't diss him for that to happen though. It was something that was going on, street shit kind of sort of behind the scenes. And it made me say something to him on a tape, and he actually answered, which I never expected. And then I came out fresh 1/1/92, January 1st, 1992, with a whole response. Woo! You know, it was like it just worked perfectly, like when he put his out. So, and then he never came out. He never came back, but I knew why. I mean, he was doing Def Jam comedy, world tours, but some people didn't see it like that. Yeah, some people probably looked at it you know, like, why you ain't answering him now, you know? So, but it was cool. It worked out.
and particularly kind of crazy too to hear about. You know, we're so engulfed in like social media now. But this was in a time before social media. So all the stuff that was happening, you know, and to have those responses happen, like the immediacy of that is crazy. You know, like
you have to physically.
Like now that we're so engulfed in the internet, it's kind of tricky, even if you were there, to remember a time without it. You know what I mean?
Right. Like, it's true.
Did you guys ever communicate like while like this, you know, this beef was happening, or was it was sincere, like?
Well, the ill part is we went in the same high school in the '80s, but I wasn't Doo Wop. I was DJed all my life. I've been DJing since I was 9 years old. So even in high school, I was DJing, but he didn't know that. He just, you know, we give each other the head nod every now and then, probably blow one, you know, in between class or something. But he was already like, you could tell he was going somewhere, just his aura. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't know really what he was doing. I knew he was a DJ, but I didn't know what was going on. But you could just tell by the way the people that hung around him, all the girls that hung around him. And we were cool from a distance. And then, you know, when we I think I dropped out in like fucking like junior year or some shit. I dropped out. He already was gone. And I got into the mixtape game. And then that's when some shit transpired behind the scenes. My people were telling me something about his people and da-da-da. And I said something on the tape, just, you know, took a shot. And then, you know, the story goes on. Then we didn't have no communication for years and years. It was like we ain't sit down and talk until like 97, bro.
Oh,
Like,
wow.
yeah, we almost had like a couple of, you know, instances like at Roseland where somebody tried to get us to talk, but then it went crazy and people just had to do this.
Real beef. Actual
Yeah.
beef.
And
Yeah.
then one day I forgot why. I think SNS put us on the phone, and Capri told me come to his crib, and I went there by myself, and we just sat in his crib. We actually did a song. The DR Period gave us a beat. We did a song. We never put that song out. I mean, there was some shit that happened, but we just, you know, we just trying to get some stuff done, and then we finally did a couple things. We did a couple things after that. You know, we worked together. We just did a party right before this pandemic, the beginning of March in Charlotte.
Yeah.
So, you know, we're cool. Everybody's cool.
Patch it up. All right, cool. We're going to move on to the next question. The next question is, outside of Dr. Dre and Mailman, only one other producer contributed to the album 2001. Who was it? Was it DJ Quick, Battle Cat, Daz Dillinger, or was it Lord Finesse?
Lord Finesse.
He says Lord Finesse, and he is absolutely correct, folks. Lord Finesse is correct.
What song? What song was that?
It was the last song. It was called "The Message."
Okay.
A song about where he's rapping about his, you know, he's got Mary J. and he's rapping about his brother.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's funny we put this in because we were talking about this earlier. You're from California, originally.
Born, but raised in New York. 2 years old, we came to New York.
All right, so yeah, that definitely, I feel like that counts. You could rep New York. In case anybody is questioning Doo Wop's authenticity as you know, as a New Yorker, he's earned it. But you know, were you as a mixtape DJ? Obviously, you were so immersed in, you know, New York scene at the time. But how up were you? How up did you have to be on what was going on in other, you know, parts of the country? Like were you? Did you sort of pay attention to everything? Were there certain areas that like you focused on more in terms of your fandom and your listening habits?
Well, I think the whole from when it started, I mean, you know, I was right there, and what's dope is that we just happened to, my mom and, you know, my dad bought a house right on 181st Street between T-Bout and Ryer, which is 2 blocks away from the park where they filmed Wild Style, 1 block from Grandmaster Caz's crib. 2 of the Fantastic Five lived 3 blocks that way. You know, so I just was in the middle of everything. And that whole late 70s, majority of the 80s, nobody, I mean, I can't say nobody, but we weren't really paying attention to kind of what was going on elsewhere until like maybe NWA. So what's that, like 80, 88?
Yeah,
80, late 88, 89.
Yeah.
That's when we wanted to know more. That's when I just, and you know, and it's bugged out because I never thought of it like that. Like we didn't pay attention to nothing until some prominent shit came out, you know, like that.
Right.
Or like,
but
you know.
But then again, why would you? You know, like why if it's not on your radar, then how could it be on your radar? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but then you start, it makes you think too, like what was going on out there though all that time? Like, were they just listening to us, or was there a cold crush on the West Coast? That's what I'm saying. Like, was there, you know?
Yeah, I mean, we've had a lot of people on the show. You know, we had Warren G on the show like a couple weeks ago, and he was pulling out all of like the East Coast groups. You know, I think from the experience of all the people that we've had, you know, there was definitely a lot of West Coast or whatever region they were in stuff that was percolating, but New York was always sort of the foundation. New York was always sort of like what people were listening to, and was
they mentioned it too. Like guys like Snoop and them always say that in the interviews and all that. It's pretty dope.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, we're going to move on to the final question in our first round, Doo Wop. In the BDP song, You Slippin', what does KRS-One say he is bringing back? Is he bringing back My Beef with MC Shan, The Underground MC, Bell Bottoms and Afros, or That Old New York Rap?
Why don't I remember this? I'm just going to guess D.
He's going to guess D. Let's hear what the answer is.
Bring it back, that old New York rap.
He is correct. That old New York rap is correct.
That was a straight guess, man.
So you got to guess. Sometimes you got to go with your gut. That usually is what I tell people to do. And, you know, we also picked, I feel like the phrase that old New York rap has significance to you as well.
Yeah, this year I put out put out a trilogy of this mixtape called The Old New York. And you know, for the volume 1 was a picture of me at a club in like '94, where you could just tell it's fucking like 94, 95, just by the bottle of Moet that nobody drinks no more, that old green bottle, and money on the table, just, you know, just the way it looked. And the second one, I used like some street legends that I personally know, but it was a dope picture of them with the sheepskins and the gazelles. And the music though was, everybody makes, you know, like, I mean, how many 90s tapes and radio stations could you possibly listen to without getting tired of the same old songs, you know, over and over? So what I did was, you know, I just did blends out of them, remixes, whatever you want to call them. So I'll take like, you know, Annie Up vocals, and I'll put them over Jay-Z's So Ghetto, DJ Premier, you know, song, So Ghetto. You know, stuff like that, you know. And then on part 3, which is the third installment and the last one, I called it the California Love Edition, even though it was called the Old New York. And I put, you just said Warren G. I put Warren G. Regulate over I Rule the World. I did, you know, Can't Knock the Hustle, Jay-Z over It's a G Thing. Red and Meth, How High over California Love, you know, shit like that. And I did West Coast artists over East Coast too. It's like 13, 14 blends on each tape. And then it got received pretty well, you know, on the internet. So I made, like, you know, some merch to go with it. Those hats that's pictured right there, and a couple shirts and shit. We're gonna do the hoodies next.
Nice. And do you still have some available of those if people want to check them out?
Yeah, I got a new batch coming in. They just sold out. I got like one hat left. But I got hats coming in and hoodies soon.
All right, we got the hoodie weather coming up, folks, so don't sleep on that. Definitely make sure you hit up Doo Wop. All right, Doo Wop, you're doing good so far. We're going to move on to our second round, and the second round is called Picasso, baby. So in this round, I'm going to show you a small piece of an album cover, and you have to identify what the album is by the little cropped image that you see. So here we go. First question in the round. What album is this? Is it Blueprint, 1988, Blue in Exile, Miles, Jay-Z, The Blueprint, or Blue, New York? He's thinking, folks. He's thinking.
Jay-Z wouldn't have a mic on his shit, I don't think. This is straight guess, too. I'm going to say B. It's a guess.
Says B. All right, final answer B. Let's see what it is, folks. Jay-Z did have a mic on his cover.
What?
That is The Blueprint.
God, I thought y'all was trying to trick me with that one.
Hey, you know, we had to pull out the hard ones for Doo-Wop, you know. But remember, you can use the chat. You know, if you feel stuck. But yeah, you know, sometimes, you know, Jay, it's not unlike Jay to maybe try to sneak a mic on there. What is, in your opinion, you know, and I think that you're somebody whose opinion really fucking matters on topics like this. What do you think? We argue about this a lot on our Twitch. What is Jay-Z's best album?
Jay-Z's best album.
State your case.
What's the one where he did a Nas diss that just went over everybody's head. Nobody even counts it when they talk about, you know, not the takeover. It's when he Some People Hate, that's the song.
Oh, Some People Hate.
The song with MOP, when they remixed the MOP was on.
Oh, that was Blueprint 2. That was Blueprint 2. The double album.
I mean, it's the one that I like to hear the most, but I would still say Reasonable Doubt is his best album, though. I mean, top to bottom.
Of course.
Top to bottom. I mean, but that's so like.
It's kind of it's
like saying Illmatic with Nas, but even though we're not talking about Nas, I think Nas's best album was his second album, which was, what is that?
It Was Written.
It was written.
Yeah.
More, you know, it was solid, but Jay-Z's with Reasonable Doubt, I can't really. I don't know. I'm gonna stick with Reasonable Doubt. I know this is just an opinion, but
of course. But you know, it's interesting that you brought up Blueprint 2 before, which I think Blueprint 2 got a lot of shit, as a lot of, you know, hip hop double discs often do, because sometimes, you know, they have a little filler on there. But I've also always thought that Blueprint 2 had amazing songs on it. Like, you know, and it was certainly at the prime of Jay's like rule over, you know, not just New York, but like the industry as a whole. Like,
right.
I think that it's definitely for people who might be doubting, you know, you should definitely go back and revisit Blueprint 2 for sure. All right, we're going to move on to the second question in this round. What album cover is this? Is it Guru's Jazzmatazz Volume 1? Is it Jazzmatazz Volume 2, Jazzmatazz Volume 3, or Jazzmatazz Volume 4?
Two.
He says 2. Guys, let's see.
Probably wrong.
How we doing on this? The answer was Volume 3.
Wow.
Volume 3. Tell us a little bit.
I feel like
about
shit. I should know that.
No, well, you know, sometimes you're so close to it, you know, it's easier to overlook. But tell me about, you know, obviously you have some history with Guru. You know, what just share with us, you know, your thoughts and looking back at what an amazing time that must have been, you know, for you too.
Yeah, we met in '95 during, you know, the making the '95 live, and then didn't see him for a while, and then he pops up around 2004 out of the blue and just says, yo, you know, Tony Touch used to go on tour with him when he did his own stuff, when he did Jazzmatazz stuff, and you know, when he didn't have to be with Premier. He would still perform Gangstar songs, because how you going to go to a Guru's show and not, you know, see him perform some songs? But the stuff that he didn't do with Premier as far as touring, Tony Touch would go with him. Tony Touch was getting real busy around that time. He called me and said, you know, would I like to do? Well, Tony called me and said, yo, you know, good, nice opportunity, whatever. I was like, of course. From then on, it was nonstop. I mean, this guy took me. I ran through like 3 passports just with Guru alone, like in the
Wow.
5 years that was the last 5 years of his life, actually. So it's just weird, bro, how, you know, anywhere he went, they knew everything. They wanted to hear everything. They knew Jazzmatazz cuts and
not just the big Gangstar singles, but like they just
of course they wanted to hear that, obviously, but it was like they knew everything, bro. It was just you know, it was, I mean, you know, it was bittersweet because obviously everything was just moving so fast. It was dope. We were happy, excited to go here, excited to go there, and then towards the end you saw the decline, and not only his health but just in his, you know, his mood, you know, of, you know, him, you know, knowing, you know, what might happen soon. And it was just tough. It was tough. And, you know, they even told him one time, you can't leave. You have to get this operation done. And we were supposed to go to Japan. And he was like, nah, fuck that. I'm going to Japan. And you know, we were all trying to talk him out of it. And he's, nah, I gotta go. But he was trying to stack money to leave for his son.
Wow.
You know, as much as he can. And, you know, and it was the part that always like fucks me up is when I remember Guru had a signature move where full clip comes on. Do you want to mess with this Gangstar? And when he does that, he will put one foot up on the monitor and just like jump up and down, kind of like use it as like to push him up.
Sure.
Bro, when that shit came on and he was in, you know, because he had multiple myeloma, which that's the same cancer my dad passed away from, and so I know it, like, it eats away at your whole spine, like, you know what I mean?
Wow.
Like, that's how it starts as back pain, and you think it's just back pain, and you think it's arthritis, or because, you know, you're getting up there in age, and by the time they catch it, it's too late. You know what I mean? And it's very aggressive. So anyway, he actually put his foot up there, and I was looking at him like, and he just stood there. You know, I mean, the crowd didn't notice.
Right.
But I noticed.
But you noticed. Obviously,
me and the band noticed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was tough. That was tough. That was real tough. But obviously, beautiful person inside and out. So talented. You know, never be another. But Guru was just, he was an ill person, man. He was real dope. He was real dope.
Absolutely. Rest in peace, Guru. All right, we're gonna move on to our last question. What album cover is this? Is it Big Pun's Yeah Baby, Fat Joe, Don Cartagena, Sadat X, Experience and Education, or Crime Mob, self-titled Crime Mob album?
That's easy. B.
He says B. That's easy. He's going with Don Cartagena. And he is absolutely correct. Fat Joe. See, we tried to throw you off there because Big Pun is a picture of Big Pun, but you know he's tucked out there in the back.
Kind of remember that, you know, that little old style look on that album.
It's a pretty iconic cover. I mean, like as a DJ as well, you know, obviously mixtape DJ. Like, how important is album artwork to you? Like, is there a time where you won't even listen to something if the cover looks whack? Or
honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I don't really care about album artwork because maybe the reason why is because the mixtape stuff. That always bothered me how when CDs started and then late 90s started coming in, it was like people would just buy them. Some people would actually just buy. Well, never mind the people. The stores were concerned about what the cover looked like, opposed to the quality of, you know, of what's on the CD, or, you know, so, you know, everybody had to change with the times. It's cool, but it was corny to me because it could be the wackest tape in the world with the dopest cover, and he's gonna get top shelf.
Right.
You know, he's gonna get top shelf display just because of that cover, or he got the one song of Beanie dissing Jadakiss, and that's it, and everything else on the tape is garbage. You know, so on the cover it's Beanie and Jada, and I was like, oh wow, but how about this dope shit down here?
So when it comes to judging books by their covers, you're more of
that's why
covers.
I mean, you appreciate a good album cover, obviously. You know, shit, we got my wife got me a few dope, you know, in the fucking era of Mask now. So I got a Tribe joint, a De La, you know, and they're like real official though, you know, not cheesy and shit, good quality. So of course you appreciate that.
No, I totally feel what you're saying. All right, well, we're going to fuck the album covers. We're done with the album covers, coincidentally. And now we're moving into the crates. Our third round is called Digging in the Crates. So this is our sample round. So I'm going to ask you a question, play you a sample, and you have to identify something about the sample. So here we go. Here's the first question. Anticipation by Les McCann is the main sample for this AZ song. So this is the sample in question. Is it Mo Money, Mo Murder, Mo Homicide? Give Me Yours, Rather Unique, or Sugar Hill? I'll play it again. In chat.
Sounds like Give Me Yours. I'm going to say Give Me Yours.
Final answer.
Give Me Yours.
The answer was Rather Unique.
Rather Unique.
Easy mistake to make. It's all good, though. It's all good.
And that was who? Pete Rock, right?
That was Pete Rock, yep. Pete Rock beat. I mean, definitely a crazy era as well. I mean, Pete Rock was another guy who was known for like the crazy remixes. What was your favorite, you know, did you have a favorite Pete Rock remix?
Yeah, the ADOR joint. Adore. I forgot the name of the record. Was that the name of the record or the artist? It was on Atlantic. Ask Steve or one of them. I know they know.
Steve, somebody in the chat. Yeah, we know you guys know. We're blanking out at the moment here. But yeah, shout out to AZ. And yeah, shout out to Pete Rock. Yep. All right, well, we're going to, while you guys get that in, we're going to move on to the second.
Let it all hang out. There you go.
Let it all hang out. There you go. There it is.
Carlos, what up? Class of Material. That's who made the New York, the old New York hat.
All right.
I mean, his whole line is crazy.
All right, make sure you guys check him out. Yep.
Class of Material.
All right, we're going to move on to the second question in this round. The hook of It's So Easy by De La Soul samples or contains a sample or an interpolation by this reggae dancehall artist. Here we go.
Ball dedication, no step affiliation, added representation, keep it that representation.
That little sample in the back.
I'm waiting for the chat.
Chat,
I'm waiting for the chat to tell me.
Ball dedication, no step affiliation, added representation.
Is it Beanie Man?
Everybody said Ninja Man.
We got a couple of ninjas. Let's see. We got another one for C.
Ah, they trying to fuck with me now. I'm gonna keep it at B. I'm gonna go with the majority right now. B.
All right, going with the majority. Let's see if he's right, folks. Let's see if you guys are right, folks. It was Dirt's, man. It was C. Chat, come on. You're letting Doo Wop down. Come on, man. Come on, man. All right.
That's the first time I went with the chat too, man, because I was fucking up.
Listen, they are an enthusiastic bunch, but they're not always a correct bunch. That's the only thing. But you know, it's all good. All right, we're gonna move on then to the next question, and it is the final question in this round. "It's Your Thing" by Lou Donaldson, classic break, was sampled by all of the following artists except for one of them. So I'm gonna play you the Lou Donaldson break right now. Who did not use this?
I'm not gonna look at the chat.
All right, he's on fuck the chat now.
B.
He says B, nuts. Okay, so we're gonna go and we're gonna do a little reveal here. First of all, we got Brand Nubian. Then we had De La Soul. Moment of Truth, Doo Wop.
And Supercat. I remember Supercat. Yeah.
So you are correct. Beat Nuts is the correct answer.
I knew Supercat and obviously Brand Nubian. That was so like, but
yeah, that was everywhere.
Yeah. I was trying to think. The De La Soul. Which one was the De La Soul song?
That was Biddies in the BK Lounge from De La Soul is Dead. You know, but that's a song that has a couple different beats to it, so that's easy to overlook. All right, so Doo Wop, we have now made it to the final round. And the final round is called Time's Up. Okay. So what we do in this round, you're going to have 90 seconds to answer 5 questions in the round of your choice. So these are your categories for the night. The categories are all things DJ Premier, songs that begin with a Q, or Brooklyn MCs of the last decade. So you get to pick your category. And
Brooklyn MCs of the last decade.
He's going Brooklyn MCs of the last decade. Okay.
Wait.
So what?
Of the last decade? Yeah. Let's do last decade. Yeah.
So it's of 2010 to 2020 is what it's about.
Yeah.
Or, you know, you get to choose.
Go to Premiere.
All right, he's doing Premiere. You did a last minute change up, so I think that'll work out for you well.
So what are you gonna put all 5 questions on the screen?
No, I'm gonna read them out loud, and these are not multiple choices. So you know, I'll go over the rules for you really quick. Again, you can use the chat if you want to. You don't have to use them. Obviously, you've seen sometimes the chat helps, sometimes the chat fucks you up. If you don't know the answer, you can say pass and we'll come back to it. But if you answer a question and you get it wrong, then the question is done. I have OC's time's up here, and it is time to 90 seconds. So when we stop hearing OC, your time will be up. DJ Doo Wop, are you ready to do this?
Yes, sir.
All right, here we go. I'm just going to position this because I'm going to be reading these off of here. All right, 90 seconds on the clock. All things DJ Premier. DJ Doo Wop, chat, make sure you help him out if you guys know the answer. But don't fuck him up this time. All right?
This dude said that nigga didn't know what a decade was.
Listen, it's difficult when you're in the hot seat.
Oh, shit. It's all good.
There's a lot of pressure. Yeah, it's all good. Bro. All right, here we go. 90 seconds. Get the laughs out now. We got to get serious, Doo Wop.
Go ahead. Go.
All right, here we go. 90 seconds. Let's go. In what year was the last Gangstar album released? The last and final Gangstar album. What year did it come out?
2000.
That is incorrect. Okay.
98.
We're done with that. We got to burn it. Those are the rules. Premier is one half of the group Prime with this MC.
Guru? What? Oh, Royce the 5'9". I'm sorry.
Royce the 5'9" is correct. Okay, I'll give that to you. DJ Premier was born in this city. I can't hear you.
Houston.
Houston is correct. All right, this pop singer tapped Primo to produce several songs on her 2006 album Back to Basics. She's a pop singer.
Christina Aguilera.
That is correct. All right, final question. Name 3 Nas albums that DJ Premier has produced a song on.
Illmatic. It was written.
Correct. One more. Say it again.
Hip Hop is Dead.
Hip Hop is Dead is not correct. We'll give you half credit for that. All right, so that is our time, Doo Wop. You did very well in that last round. The year that the last Gangstar album was released was 2019 because they put out that final album together. That's a little bit of a tricky one. So I'm gonna, but you know, it's all good. I'm gonna total your score, but no matter what, I want you to know, Doo Wop, you are champion in our eyes.
Thank you.
If you have some time, we normally would love to get some questions from the chat. You down to do a little Q&A? Guys, if you have questions for Doo Wop, drop them in the little question box. I have one more question for you. Now that you've played the game, who's somebody that you would recommend that you think should come on the show next? So who's like a hip-hop aficionado, a hip-hop nerd that would do well on this show?
I say my boy Tony Touch. It'd be pretty dope.
Tony Touch would be incredible. Yeah, we got to reach out to him for sure.
Yeah, look alike a little bit. Nah, seriously, that'd be dope.
Okay. See what happens. I'm not mad at it. All right, so you have a total score. Guys, drop those questions for Doo Wop in there. You did pretty well that last.
Somebody asked what was the 3 Nas albums. So what's the third one that I missed?
Albums. We had you said Illmatic. We had
and
it was written. I Am, his third record. He had a joint on there.
New York State of Mind Part 2.
Yeah, Nostradamus, he had a joint on as well. And then there was also one more, Stillmatic, I want to say. I got to double check. Hold on. I'll go get the answer. Yes, Stillmatic, Nostradamus, I Am, it was written in Illmatic. So any of those 5 would have been correct. So listen, while we get those questions in, I just want you to know the company that you are in. You got a total of, we'll round you up to 9. 9 out of 15, that is not a bad place to be. Let me tell you who's in the 9 club with you. You are sitting pretty with Cypher Sounds, Warren G. These are all guests who have been on the show and have gotten the score that you got. Rhett Maddock from the Beat Junkies. Justin Hunt from Hip Hop DX. So, you know, I just want you to feel good about where you're sitting at right now. You know, the 9 club is a good place to be. So, you know, show your love to DJ Doo Wop. Let's see if we have some questions from the chat. So we have a question. Who are current rappers that you are listening to? Is there anybody current that you've been listening to?
Mostly the Griselda cats. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not really listening to a lot of I mean, I listen to the new shit, but I'm not like really into a lot of, you know, like the new shit right now. Just the Griselda cats mostly.
Griselda's totally a movement. Yeah. I mean, yeah, but you know, we're all different. You get in different spots in your life. It's all good. You know? Somebody asked, who's in your top 5 mixtape DJs? I mean, I feel like that's probably a tough question, but would you say you have a top 5 when it comes to mixtape DJs?
Sure.
What do you appreciate about them?
No particular order. Kid Capri, obviously, for obvious reasons. Ron G, because he trailblazed the blends. That was his lane, and he made it a whole. You know, he turned it into something crazy because even Puff would tell you that's how he got his ideas to make those remixes that he did eventually. You know, like in '93, '94 with Mary J. You know, taking the hip hop beats and putting up under, you know, the R&B vocals. And that's what Ron G was doing since like '89. You know, he was doing that at his crib. Right. With two, you know, blending Kid Capri, Ron G, SNS for always being the first one to get all the exclusives. You know, finding ways to get up in A&R offices, and I don't know how he got them. He was getting dats of, like, you know, he had like 8 Illmatic songs before they came out, and that album only had 10 songs on it. He had 8 of them on his tape before it even came out. DJ Clue, for obvious reasons. I mean, he changed the game with the CDs. Another guy with the exclusives, another guy with ill freestyles, and then Tony Touch. Tony Touch, you know, that's like my brother in crime. You know, getting a hold of all the freestyle, the guys that do freestyles for him, being a trailblazer himself too, with the rapping and DJing at the same time. So that's my five. That's my top five.
Solid five. Nobody's mad at that. All right. What do we see? Tra Lamont asks, who would you like to work with next? Is there anybody that you want to, you know, work with on a project, or maybe you have stuff that already is in the works or was in the works before, you know, all this COVID
I want to finish the Pete Rock album. Me and Pete Rock were doing an album called Tango and Cash. But the songs, we did 7 songs in like one day at his crib, but now they would probably be outdated because it was like, I don't know, it was like 2012 or something, some shit like that. I mean, I still want to hear them over and maybe touch them up, but we're going to do like a whole album with me and him rhyming and him producing the whole thing. I want to definitely finish that.
Hell yeah. People want to hear that. Definitely. Okay. DJ Equal asks, what exclusive track or drop are you most proud of from your own, you know, career?
For my tapes, right?
Yeah.
Five Live series alone was exclusively done for me. It was, you know, they came to the studio, we put it down together. So, you know, it's so many. So I would say like the whole 95 Live series, really, because those were freestyles that you couldn't get nowhere but in my tapes.
Yeah.
And that's 95. So you're talking about Keith Murray when he was, you know, Most Beautifulest Thing was out. Raekwon came and did a freestyle when Cuban Links was out. Fat Joe was there. Busta Rhymes.
Everybody at their peak.
Busta Rhymes. And then I had KRS, Mobb Deep, Lost Boys, Guru, Woof. AZ, you know, Tretch, you know. So it was stuff that you couldn't get anywhere else. And plus it had my tags on it too.
Right.
So, yeah.
That's
definitely
amazing.
95 Live.
Yeah. All right. We have time for a couple more. Do you still have all of your mixtapes? Asked Carolina Nomad.
I mean, mixtapes, I had them and I put them, I have them, but I put them all on, obviously, I think in 2011, I started that whole movement where, you know, putting it on a flash drive. It took the other DJs. Now everybody has them, you know, everybody has their catalog on flash drive. It took a few years, I guess, to catch up because that's some tedious shit to do, you know, to play your tape and, you know, to make it digital. Well, now you could probably do it faster, but in 2011, you had to literally bounce it the whole 90 minutes.
Live. Yeah.
So I got everything. I got everything from 1991 to now. It's like 72 tapes and it's all on a flash drive. And that's where I have everything. All my masters are probably like at my mom's crib or something, you know. But
shouts to moms. Yes. All right. Let's see. We got one more that we're going to do. This is an interesting one. Any great story you can share about the late, great Prodigy? Any Prodigy stories?
Yeah, Prodigy ambushed me one time with the I had him in 2001. I was kind of trying to chase 95 Live, you know, like trying to do something similar to it. The game was changing a little bit. That's right before the 50 Cent era. You felt something switching up in the game. So I was just trying to like get that same type of feel, make a mixtape with like, you know, a bunch of MCs, right? So instead of like one MC in the intro, a whole 20 minutes full of prominent, you know, cats. So I got Fat Joe, Capone, Remy, Jazzo, Big Daddy Kane, big mixture of old school, new school,
newer,
you know, guys that were new then, you know. I had Lady Luck, Memphis Bleak.
Damn. So
then I'm at D&D's during this time. I'm at D&D's 12 hours a day, just calling cats, come through, you know. So then E-Money Bags, rest in peace, I got a hold of him and he said I could bring Prodigy by. They already had something in mind, but I was like, cool. He was like, have the Hail Mary beat, Tupac. Cool.
Yeah.
Got it. He went in the booth and went in on Jay-Z, right? Just went straight in. Of course, I'm going to play it, but I'm like, God damn, like he didn't even say anything. You know, he didn't even like hint at the shit. So then the crazy shit is that back then when we made our tapes, after we master the tape, put it together, and it's ready to hit the street, we usually also go, the DJs will go to each record label and give like a handful to the street team, the A&R, just
Promo.
it was part of the game, just
Yeah.
promo. I would always go to Rockefeller. I would always go here. I would always there. But this tape, I skipped the Rockefellers. I skipped that stop, right?
Yeah.
That night, I swear to God, the same night that I skipped them, because I gave it to everybody else, Lenny from Rockefeller called me and said, yo, why you didn't bring the new tape? And I said, we want to hear it. We already know what's on it, but we want to hear it. Like 2 weeks later is when Summer Jam hit. And that's when, and so the takeover, Ryan, was really going at P for that.
It was a response to his verse.
He and him got on an interview, I think, with The Source and was saying shit about Jay, but I guess that like sealed it.
That was the straw.
That sealed it. Yeah, and to me, the rhyme wasn't that harsh, but it was more talking shit to Jay. You know, he's like he rhymed like 12 bars and he talk a bunch of shit to him. But it's P though, you know, P's voice, and it's just him. So
he's
I guess
deadly.
it struck a nerve.
Even if he wasn't going hard, just the way that his presence, you know.
Yep.
Man, crazy stories. Well, Doo Wop, I want to thank you again so much for coming on the show. We really appreciate it.
Thank you,
You are
bro.
a legend in the game. You know, what can people can check out? You know, I know you're talking about the merch that you have. You're talking about this thumb drive that I think we all want a copy of right now. Where can people get that?
Everything is on my Instagram, DJ Doo Wop. You know, Twitter and Facebook, but Instagram is where everything is moving to me, moving for me. And now just DM me, and you know that's me. I hit you right back.
Awesome. Well, once again, thank you so much. We appreciate you, Doo Wop, legend in the game. We look forward to seeing what you do next. Peace.
All right.